I'm going to try to give you the insights into the next week, each week on a Saturday. I know that's a little earlier than the week actually starts, but I want you to have the material so you can do it whenever you're ready. And so I want to share several things with you as you enter week number 2. Now, in your first meeting with the parent, it's very important that you don't just gather information and say, see you next week. You must give them an assignment. And the assignment is always the same. The assignment is cycle number 1, or the instruction routine. The reason this is so important is mentioned in some other announcements that I've put up there. It is building the working relationship between parent and child so that we can do other things. We've got several very interesting cases so far. We've got Cleo's working with a 10-year-old who has type 2 diabetes. And in order to manage that, you've got to be pretty disciplined. So this is great that we're working on this. But he gets arguing, and he's talking back when he doesn't get what he wants. So very important that you start with cycle number 1, the instruction routine, so that this 10-year-old can learn how to give up his agenda. He can learn how to respond to authority. When parents learn this part of the interaction, this relational pattern will change in this child. So we must start with cycle number 1. Now, Lakeisha is dealing with a 4-year-old who argues and wants the last word, and has a problem when told to do something she doesn't want to do. Very important that we start with the instruction routine, because it's building the working relationship between parent and child. Give that assignment in the first week, and make sure you're giving the assignment for that parent to practice it many times a day. Look for ways to do that. If you only have your child in the afternoon and evening because they went to school, that's when you practice it. If your child, if you only have your child a certain part of the time because they're at grandma's house for a while, whenever you have the child, you practice it. If you got 2 parents, both should be trying to practice the instruction routine. Malika has a 10-year-old who handles correction poorly. And has an attitude and shuts down. This child is apparently self-focused. The material that we're going to use in the next week is going to be particularly helpful in dealing with correction when we introduce the next week's material in week 2 as you meet with your parent. But in week 1, focus on the instruction routine. Focus on giving up the agenda. We want this child to move from a self-focused tendency to be able to give up their agenda and move forward. This is great. We've got a couple. Christine and Brad haven't told us more about their client yet, but as we do, we're going to take every one of these situations and we're going to watch God work powerfully in them. Start with cycle number 1. Very important. Now you'll see my grading. I'm very interested in giving you a good grade. You must do, in order to earn 50 percentage points for your initial post and 25 each percentage points for your 2 additional posts, you must have references to the books, the reading material, in order to engage. And you can't just say, hey, I like what you said there. You've got to engage with them in some way in order for me to be able to give you a good grade on that. Let's see. I think if you just look at the announcements and read the things that are coming there, make sure you listen to the videos and watch the videos that the parents watching, because that's the material you're teaching. So be sure to use that. I would create, if I were you, some kind of a online notebook on your computer, a folder that has maybe a Word file and some handouts, so that you have a package of what you can do with parents. Download all that material from Biblical Parenting University to your computer so you can use it ongoing. And notice all there's electronic forms and all kinds of things there that you're going to want to take advantage of. So you've got a lot of material there. Organize it well. I'm hoping you'll use this course not just for now to learn some things. You'll use it as part of your training ongoing as you work to disciple parents one-on-one, and even train others to be able to disciple parents one-on-one. So hopefully this will be a good tool for you as you're ongoing. So if you have any questions, get to me, talk to me. I want to help you be successful as you start working with your parent. Let's see what God does here. Meet with that parent, and then kind of you push the boat away and watch God work and his grace take place. And then the next week, we get to see how the responses are. That's when I'll be commenting more on your cases, when you post your threads about your case, so that we can maximize change in these families and answer any questions you have in order to help these families grow and change. And you will get to learn through this in the process.